Tonight, President Joe Biden will deliver his first State of the Union address. Final preparations are underway. Meantime, the trucker group that calls itself the People's Convoy is on its way to Washington, D.C. They're protesting COVID restrictions, vaccine requirements, and other issues impacting the country. Demonstration is planned for this Saturday. Let's give you a live look now at the Capitol building, where fencing has been set up as a precaution. 12 News Politics editor Ted Nesi joins us now live in studio with more on the president's address tonight. Ted?
Well, as you said, Mike, this is technically President Biden's first State of the Union address, but you can be forgiven for thinking he's already delivered one. Last year in April, Biden gave a speech to a joint session of Congress, but it was not officially a State of the Union since it was his first year as president, though there was similar pomp and circumstance. One big difference tonight from last year is that with COVID concerns easing, all members of Congress are invited to attend in person, though they will be spaced apart. However, they are still not allowed to bring guests in person. Nevertheless, local lawmakers have designated virtual guests who will be with them in spirit. U.S. Senator Jack Reed's virtual guest is Andrew Cortez, head of the construction apprentice group Building Futures. U.S. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse picked Bob Billington of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council. Congressman Jim Langevin's virtual guest is Rhode Island DOT Director Peter Alviti. And Congressman David Cicilline's is United Nurses and Allied Professionals Union President Lynn Blaze. Cicilline explained his choice to me earlier this afternoon.
I picked Lynn because I wanted a guest that would really represent the incredible healthcare workers who have been on the front lines of this pandemic, who have just done extraordinary, heroic work at keeping us safe and healthy.
Meanwhile, Republicans have selected Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds to give their party's response to Biden after the speech. She's already being mentioned as someone who might be considered as a potential vice presidential nominee for the GOP in 2024. Ted Nesi, 12 News.
While the Ukraine crisis is expected to be a central topic in President Joe Biden's first State of the Union address tonight, he also has a lot on his plate close to home.
That includes rising inflation and a stalled domestic agenda. 12 News Politics editor Ted Nesi joins us now live in studio with a preview. Ted?
Mike Shannon, President Biden will address a country where a lot of voters have concerns about his leadership. Our colleagues at News Nation commissioned a poll from the firm Decision Desk HQ. Over 1,000 registered voters were surveyed last week, and the survey found only 43% of Americans currently approve of how Biden is handling his job as president, while 57% disapprove. And it's worth noting more than 40% of those polled said they strongly disapprove of Biden's performance. So a large share of voters very unhappy. Another striking finding, almost 90% of voters say they are very concerned or somewhat concerned about inflation. I spoke to Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline earlier today. He argues Biden has taken steps to deal with inflation, but acknowledged the frustration.
Even if your income has gone up, even if you see jobs being created, if when you go to the grocery store or the gas station, you still can't afford the gas or the food for your family, it's frustrating for people. So I think some of it hasn't been felt by people yet.
Cicilline went on to say he hopes Biden makes an effective case tonight for the policies Democrats have put in place so far, and insisted he thinks his party won't lose control of Congress in November, despite the current mood among voters. Ted Nesi, 12 News.